at home by the break.
I don't know.
Next up.
As long as they sign the waiver. As long as they sign the waiver, it's not generated. Stand, I'll call this meeting to order, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Mr. Lang, do we have a roll call, please?
Yeah.
Mr. Garland?
Here.
Mrs. Minnie? Here. Mr. Glasser?
Here.
Mr. Apple?
Here.
Mrs. Trumbull here.
Okay, next on our agenda is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to accept our consent agenda?
I'll move to accept the consent agenda according to the these two bills. One's for $4,250, it's for the spray foam insulation at the chapel. The exterior walls, everything's done, except the crawl space. We're not gonna do that till the weather's warmer.
Yeah, that's already been approved, Bill.
Don't need it. Okay, and what about the gutter at the library?
I don't know anything about that.
About the what?
This is Chuck Corey's bill from the library. Fax it to me. I just got it the other day.
Oh, for the, that was better not to.
Yeah. Just so they get paid, that's all. That's fine.
Yeah, these have been all approved, haven't they?
Okay.
And the total, Mike, the total?
Okay, I've got the total for our consent agenda is $254,325.52.
Actually, that's $375, Mike, I think.
Pardon me?
I think that's $375, $254, $375, and 52 cents.
375, right?
Right,
I'm sorry,
that's okay.
I can't read my own writing.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call vote, please.
Okay, Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie? Yes. Mr. Glasser?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Trumbull, yes.
Motion carries. Citizen wishing to address the board. Mr. Fromm, Don Fromm?
Yes. You want my address?
Please stand and give your address.
My name's Don Fromm, I live at 7731, and I'd like to address the board about the trash service,
7731 what?
State Road. So,
If more people are speaking, there's a place to put your address on when you sign that, and then that saves a little bit of
He
time.
does that.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to state that I'm not for it, and that if I want trash service rolled into my taxes, I'd live in the city.
Okay, thank you. Joanne Werford?
My name is Joanne Reeford. I live on 4100 Hillock. I have to write things down because I get a little nervous when I'm in front of a lot of people, and I like to have my statement given to you too, so it goes on the record. As a resident, I'm requesting the board to look into a public improvement of natural gas for properties that are not benefiting from this improvement. This request is consistent with the master plan to change and promote the general health, safety, and welfare of the residents. This brutal winter has identified unstable conditions of propane gas to the community and its adverse effects. This public improvement of natural gas is a tangible solution to the anticipated future problems of propane gas. When projects of the township have been identified and classified, they must be placed in order of priority. I'm requesting the township to put the projects in priority. Example, natural gas special assessment over garbage, recycling, and yard waste pickup special assessment. In this case, this special assessment would only be for the properties benefiting from improvement rather than the entire community. The township must attempt to anticipate future problems and recommend the steps necessary to prevent or reduce their severity. The facilities, services, and programs offered by the township to its residents and businesses are essential to maintaining an adequate standard of living and are the key factor in determining whether or not a community can thrive and grow. Thank you for this consideration, everybody.
Thank you very much.
down, no minutes.
Oh, it's okay.
That was my wife.
Jim Collins.
Jim Collins, 4107 Monument Road. I've been to the last 3 meetings here, and quite a few people showed up, and I'd like to know how many people here are for this trash thing. Could you raise your hand? 2. How many people are against it? Okay. I mean, it's political suicide if you guys go for it. I'm against it. People don't want it. They already have trash pickup. They pay for what they want. They get it done. And that's it. End of story.
Okay, thank you. Mike Welton.
Yep, I'm just here to, Mike Wilton, 3600 Middle Road. Voice my objection against a special assessment to, for the township to get involved in the trash service. I don't think the township has demonstrated any real need for such an action. We haven't come up with any factual data that supplies real numbers, what the costs are going to be. But from what I understand, you are supposed to show before you vote on any special assessment. You're supposed to be able to distribute that out to the property owners so they can see what actual costs are going to be. And that hasn't been demonstrated. I mean, you're just in a bidding process, so you don't have actual numbers. You haven't allowed a competitive bidding process because we know, I think we have representatives here tonight that weren't afforded an opportunity to even bid on it. And I'm against it just because when it comes to government, I believe less is more.
Amen.
Dave Feinstecker. David?
Feinstecker, 3671 Ferndale. I just have 2 issues. One is for the trash and everything else. Several of my neighbors and I are for it. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a substantial savings. Right now I'm paying about $280 a year. This will drop it down to approximately $150. Save me about $130 and roll in the extra services as far as the recycling and the yard waste, which is something that I look forward to. Hopefully cut down on some of the burning and everything else that goes on in the neighborhood in the fall. And then the other issue has to do with the, several months ago, we filed several complaints to the neighbors regarding 3695 Ferndale. And I know the inspector's been out there, and I believe it's in the ticket process. Right now, we're just kind of wondering where they're standing and know what's going on with that, because that's a house we all call it the raccoon house. And I've been here 23 years, there hasn't been a human in there since. Just wild animals, possums, raccoons, and back walls are falling down, windows are out, chimneys crumbling. But I believe the inspector's been out there. I just wondered if we could get an update.
Well, I know he was there in the fall of the year, and I think with this winter, things have kind of come to an abrupt halt because of the severity of the winter, but I will check with Mike and see where we stand.
Yeah, I believe a raise and repair was issued.
Pardon me?
I believe Mike told me that a raise and repair was issued, but we were just wondering what, where the stance was.
We really haven't talked about it, but I'll get with him.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty hazard over there.
Okay, thank you. Pam,
Veteran H, 7280 North Road. I heard a U.S. Congressman on the radio this afternoon, and what he said seemed immediately analogous to the situation we have here. And he said that a small group of people in Washington want to control what people buy and don't buy because they think they know better than we do. And I would like to say that the citizens of Burtchville Township are not children. They know what they want. They would like to make their own choice as to what they buy. I have worked with one of the trash haulers and got the rate reduced to a different amount because we have so little trash, being over a certain age. And so I know these people will make allowances for different things. Like if I was going away for 3 months, I would cancel them for that 3 months and wouldn't be charged for it. And when I came back, they would start my trash up again with no problems. That will not happen with the program you've proposed up to now. I talked to a lady on the lake today. Some of her neighbors come only rare weekends and take their trash home. These people will be charged a lot of money for no service. I think that it would behoove the board not to try to force what you want on the people. After several meetings, it's apparent that people are profoundly against this. And, you know, the competition is a good thing. These people, if we feel we're paying too much, there are several other people we can go to now. If our service isn't good, we can cancel them and try somebody else. A monopoly is never a good thing for consumers.
Thank you. Ray Pelletier.
4033 Hillock Drive. I'm against the trash issue. I think that, as this lady mentioned, if you get a hold of your hauler and you give them the circumstances that you're involved in, they'll negotiate your price down. This gentleman over here, he wants me to pay for his hauling away of leaves and trash. I don't want to do that. If he wants his trash and leaves hauled away, let him pay for it. I don't believe that everybody should pay for the people who just want some specific services. In the meeting that we had in December, I think it was, there's a gentleman in here who spoke about trash hauling up in the Thumb. My brother lives up in the Thumb. I'm sorry, my brother has a cottage in the Thumb. They brought in garbage hauling. Before the garbage hauling, the same truck used to back down his road and pick his garbage up. Once the garbage haulers got in, they have to keep their garbage up to the front. They pay year-round. There's no break for the fact that they're not there for 6-7 months during the winter months. I've been paying $35 a quarter for 2 years for my hauler, small hauler. What you're proposing will eliminate the small hauler. Those people don't have a chance. And what you're proposing, what I saw in the last proposal, you have automatic rate increases built into your system for 2 years out, 3 years out, 4 years out. I haven't had any rate increase in 2 years. And I've never heard any rate increase being proposed. Why would you bring something in without having any experience and accept something that has automatic rate increases? How do you know that gas won't go down? How do you know that cost won't go down? I mean, I just think that the whole thing is that for a number of people, it's going to be a savings, yes. Because you're going to charge everybody the same rate, whether they're here all the time or not here. So some people are going to gain from it. But what about those people who have summer residences here, cottages? You're going to force them to pay for a fee 12 months out of the year. That's taxation without representation. I don't care whether they vote here or not. I mean, you're taxing those people for a service they're not going to get. And you're subsidizing other people who are here full time. We're all mature adults. Saving $40 a year isn't going to make any difference for anybody. If you can negotiate your price down, get a hold of your garbage haul. Treat us like adults, not like children. We don't need to be dictated to, especially something like this. I mean, garbage, you're involving yourself in stuff that has no need. I asked you before in the last meeting, how many people complain? You said, oh, a number of them. I asked you, how many? You couldn't tell me. But over time, several of them. We've had a lot of complaints. Is that 50? Is that 100? Is that 200? Is that 1,000? Is it the same 50 people complaining every time you come into the office? You know, if you wanted to get a sense of what was happening or how people felt, that letter that you sent out announcing the December meeting, you could have sent something out with the tax assessments over the past couple of years and say, how do you feel about this? Let us know how you feel about it. Then at least you got a straw vote of how many people would support what you're looking at and how many people would not support it. I just don't like the process. I don't like the fact that you're cutting a little guy out of the pie, and I don't like you involved in my business.
Okay, thank you. Robert Abernathy.
Robert Abernathy, 8235 State Road.
I'm gonna save money on this deal, which is really good for me, but I've got a neighbor. My neighbor only comes up here to mow his lawn in the summertime. He's gonna be charged $160 a year, and I'm gonna be charged $160 a year. Do the math. I'm paying for him. Lots of people along the lake are the same way. 2, 3 people, you're gonna charge them all the same price. If you do recycling, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20 people are gonna use it. You're gonna bill everybody $8. That's $80 a pickup if they just do every 10th house. Is that a savings? That's money in Waste Management's pocket. You put out a public opinion poll for 1 week, last week. 180 people went on the website. There's 3,000 people that live here, there's 1,500 that you mailed to. I don't know how many of those 180 even were looking at that particular item because I didn't have time to FOIA it. You mentioned 300 people were interested in this project. I have it on tape. 300 people came in here and asked for recycling. I asked Mrs. Tremble to back that up with a FOIA request. She told me not one person had filled out a FOIA, not one person had sent a letter in, not one person had come in here and said anything that's actually on paper. So I don't know where you got your 300 numbers. We've had 300 people in here. December 16th, we filled the place and people were leaving. You didn't have enough programs to go around for people to even look at the paper. You expected people at the 9th hour to share those papers, which are supposed to and legally be available to everybody in the township, and you didn't do that. I don't think that you've done this properly. I don't think that you should call up Waste Management and have a chat with them in December, and then in January, turn down Jeff's proposal. I think it's completely unfair. I don't think that it's been done the way that the board should be handling this. This should have been a sealed vote. The attorney, last week or last month, was making statements. He made 2 statements that I don't think are worthy of an attorney giving you guys the idea of what should happen. He said, 8%, Jody asked, can we redo the mailing? He said, it's a moot point. You had 8%. That's not up to him, as far as I'm concerned. That's up to Jody, and Mrs. Minnie, and Al, and you, and Mrs. Tremble. For the attorney to make a statement like that it's a moot point, I think is completely out of line. He's here to answer questions to the public and for you, but not to make statements like that. There was another one made as well. That's a moot point. Jeff's wouldn't have gotten the bid anyway because the lowest bid that came in was $160. He should not have that right to say that. If you need it on tape, I have it. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Ernie Schroeder.
Ernie Schroeder, 4600 Norman Road. I'm gonna have to echo his comment. I don't think this whole thing is right. I asked the lawyer, I went back and dug out my cards. This 20% vote is on land mass, not on individuals. Am I not right? That's the vote was sent up. Al's got one up there on the card.
That's how it was
All right,
done.
you're taking individual opinions, which is fine, and all the agriculture around the township is not even being spoken for. And if you want 20%, I can give you 3,000 acres tomorrow morning. They'll turn it down. But none of that has ever been taken into fact. What you advertise is not what you're trying to do with this process.
Anybody else wishing to address the board?
Dave Highmore, 3471 Minden Drive.
Dave, could you fill out a sheet, please?
He did, he did.
Oh, you did,
I
okay.
was late on it.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I did a FOIA, and I noted that the township did not set forth any specs on what anyone is bidding on. And I noted, of course, that Waste Management, and I don't think the others did, but Waste Management had a fuel surcharge, which I guess I understand some of that. But I'm going to assume that Waste Management, if they get this, is going to bill us for the services. So I don't understand why the township is going to bill us 2% as an administrative fee on something the waste management is going to do. I also don't see anywhere in there where if I have a complaint with waste management, such as one of their hydraulic hoses blows on my car in the summertime and I'm not home, and I come back a week later, which happened to me about 20 or 35 years ago, and that company took care of it and did whatever. I don't see a process where I can force waste management to take care of it. I'm assuming the township isn't going to step up to the plate, and I don't mean that negatively. And I'm going to assume that I can't then cancel or opt out of waste management and bring someone else in because the township won't allow anyone else in. And by giving this, no one else is going to come in because who wants to drive 18 miles or whatever to pick up 4 bags of trash? It also appears, but of course the township didn't give me specs, that waste management is telling us how many bags of trash we can put out a week. And that's a concern to me because for some reason, at my old age, I'm starting to clean things out and I'm getting rid of trash and stuff like that. And now I'm going to have a situation where I come home and it's still all there because I was over waste management's limit, even though the township hasn't set any specs. So I just don't see that there's any benefit to the township at all. And I do understand some people talk about being able to recycle. I believe Waste Management said they're going to do their recycling alternating weeks on some other day. So now we're going to have trucks coming down all the time because everybody's bid was different. And if somebody is beating a bid by that much, they're beating the current numbers by that much, there's something in there that's going to come back to bite you pretty good. And of course, once the contract is there, it's agreed upon, you folks have bound us to it, even though you haven't given them any specs by which they are to bid. So you have 3 bidders who have bid, even though they were never asked to, the township has never said, well, everybody submit a bid who's interested. This young guy next to me has a business of 500 customers, and he never even was told about it. He found out by mistake. And so you don't even know what you're supposed to bid on. And are you able, Waste Management, I think, is giving certain people half-off prices. And so why can't I have half-off prices? Because my wife says I'm never home anyhow, so I don't feel like a summer person or a winter person. And so that's the problem. There are no numbers here, and all you're doing is comparing apples to oranges. And I don't know why I should be forced to accept their bid. No different than why should I be forced to buy gas from some company. I can go where I want to go. If I want to pay a little extra because they give good service, because they don't, if somebody makes a mess, they sweep it up, that's what I call good service. And I'll pay a little extra for good service. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board?
Just one little thing I'd like to bring up. If I understand this right, this is going on the tax bill, am I correct?
Correct.
And everything is going to work through the township, correct? How long is Mr. Platzer, or how long are you going to be after you have all these customers calling in and you got to do all the legwork and the pencil work, so it's not going to come back and haunt us, that you're going to have 4/10 of a mil to cover the extra work involved in that. That's only part of it. We went through it to the bike trail, same thing. You build a bike trail and never made no arrangement for maintenance. And you're going to have the same thing here. It's going to happen. There's no way they can do it all and not have to have extra help or spend extra time.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
I'm just curious, given the nature of the discussion, why is it so difficult to just put this on the ballot and let people vote? I mean, if it's such a good idea, the people that you're supposed to be representing ought to be able to speak once and for all. You must have been at this for a year? Is it reasonable to assume you've been at this for a year?
What, for
No.
Pursuing garbage collection, 6 months?
It began when the
9 months?
recycling ended. It began, the interest began when the recycling was not available to residents.
Okay, so 2 years.
No, August.
It was in August.
Okay, August. You sent out a tax bill for the beginning of the year. Why didn't you just get a feeling for the people that you're supposed to represent? Instead of couching yourself behind all of this and then, oh, here's the letter of the law. Now, the letter of the law says you gotta have 20%. Just send something out with a tax bill and let us mail it back. I'll put the stamp on it. Get a feeling of how the people are whether they're for it or not. And you're never going to get information from the people who don't vote here, because it just doesn't happen. And the people that are out of town, they're not gonna put anything in. It's just the local residents. It boggles my mind why you would do all of this and then expect us to fight against you to not have it happen, when you could have done this in an entirely different manner that would have got the feeling of the people, and you'd have had some statistical data to support you to move forward on this. I think you're gonna shove this down our throat, no question in my mind. You're all sitting there and you're nice and kind, but you're gonna hide behind the law. So, I don't know why the heck I'm here, but I
Thank
just...
you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, Iris Phil, Tam Veteran, 7280 North. I was wondering, did anybody ever get prices on just having somebody bring in the recycling bins again? Has that ever been tried? Because then everybody could use it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be
That wasn't an option. I mean,
That's not an, nobody will bring recycling
did you
bins?
see the recycling bin that was here before? It was a mess.
So we couldn't get one extra?
Well, there's nobody that's
There's nobody who
doing
does
it.
that. That was checked out though. It wasn't-
Well, that's why this whole process started.
But not everybody wants
I
to
mean,
recycle.
when we were doing it for free and paying for the township to do it, it was, you know.
How much did that cost, by the way?
Well, it was,
Does anybody know?
I don't remember.
I don't have the figure in front of me right there, but,
Uh-huh.
you know.
But you're saying no one will come in and do that and bring a recycling bin in instead
No,
of that?
not that we could find. We tried.
There's this guy, Jeff's road.
So we had the opportunity, you know, the county was gonna give us, we had an option to buy a 30-yard recycling bin for $1. You know, if the townships wanted to, you know, take care of the price to, you know, haul the recycling away. I mean, right now, we're hauling our recycling goods out of the city Yale to, down to Grovebeck and 16 mile or 11 mile. So it costs money to recycle. It's not a, you know, a free thing. There's fuel involved, there's labor involved.
But that way, the people that would have it there could pay for it. They would pay to recycle, if that's what floats your boat.
Well, that's another story. We're working on this right now, so, you know,
But you said you were working on this because of the recycling.
well, that's absolutely right.
Okay, 'cause we didn't have trash before, we just had recycling.
Well, but there was trash there because every Monday morning I had to go out there and clean it up. The garbage and everything else that was put out there. And it wasn't just recycling, it was garbage and everything else. You know, that's nice, you know. But when you have to go out there every Monday morning and there's bags laying all over the place and it's all over the yard, blowing over to the cemetery, somebody had to clean that up too. You know, that was a problem too. That's why that option was never ever looked at again.
Take care of that.
And I think most of the people that are in this room probably at one time or another had seen that mess that was over there on Monday morning, you know. Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilton, 4245 Norman Road. A camera would be cheaper. Find out who's dumping the trash by the recycling bin. Why punish all of us for one or two? I'll buy the camera.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know regarding, talking to several of my neighbors in the last, month and a half, I probably talked to everybody, just about everybody on Ferndale Drive. Now, a lot of the ones not my end, I'm down by the lake, and people on the lake. I'm the only year-rounder down there, but we've talked to them all, and I know Judge Nicholson's spoken to you. Mike Perry, I believe he sent you an email. McCarty's, I think, sent an email to you, the Starks sent an email to you. People down at that end, I mean, they're all in favor of it. You know, I've asked them if, you know, some of them have sent emails to you, and, showing the response. And again, it always seems like when we go through the same thing with convention center, and I was speaking before the the county and those places, the people that, you get a lot of naysayers that show up because they're passionate about that, but then the people that are for it, for example, like down Ferndale Drive, that's about eight properties right there that are for it. And they said, David, if you're gonna go there, just, assert that you like it and everything else, and let them know that we're for it. Now,
Did you bring
with them not here, they can't register that yes, they're for it, with the cards and everything else. A lot of them, and out of all those, there's only 2 that are local, and the rest are all out of the Detroit, Ann Arbor, Dearborn area. And they know the provisions you've got in there for the wintertime people that, they're for it. They look forward to not having to take their stuff home every weekend. So there are a lot more people for it than show up here at the meetings.
Thank you. Anybody else?
One comment on that?
Put on the ballot.
It was not put on the card that you should show up for it. What was put on the card was to show up against it. That's why you're seeing everybody here. We're not naysayers. We're the people who were asked to come here on that card. So there have been 5 people that have showed up here so far in 2013, 2014 that were for it. I'll say 10 people that are on the record, but no more than that. But that's not what people were asked to do. People were asked to come and say no.
Thank you.
One general question, just one general question. It might have been said.
Can you stand up, please?
Might have been said in one of the other meetings. Is this tax increase per lot or per lot that actually has a house on it? I own 4 lots in Burtchville Township. So if you're asking me to pay $160 per lot times 4, I've got a house on 1.
It's residential.
So.
It's where the home is.
Yeah, but they're all resident. They're all taxed as residential property, even though they're not.
That's where the homes are.
Okay.
Where the homes are. Thank you.
But, just one way we're still, but some were exempted from this. Some residential properties were exempted from this. Yes, like the condominiums, which are residential properties, were exempted from it. The trailer park on Metcalf Road are residential. It's residential. That was exempted. So all properties are not equal in Burtchville Township. That's correct, right? I mean, they were exempt. There's exemptions.
Yeah, the trailer park didn't pay, the condos don't pay.
Nor all the apartments up the lake shore.
The apartments.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
that's why.
Why? Don't they generate trash?
They do generate trash, but they pay for their own.
We'd like
What do you
that sounds good.
Isn't it amazing?
You like it? The free last.
Okay, anybody else want to address the board? Yes, ma'am.
Just real quick, I just want to say that I think you're in violation of your master plan because projects have been identified and they have certain priority levels. And trash, it seems to me to be a low priority when there's a lot of residents that don't have the basic needs. And I have tonight identified some of these projects. So I think you're violating your own master deed. And trash is by no means going to contribute to the infrastructure. We have infrastructures that's going to make a growth in this community. We need to address our infrastructure before trash.
Like paying the water bill online would be nice. Phone your bill I can't pay. But you're worried about my trash.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, hearing none, I'll go on to approve our agenda. Do we have a motion to approve our agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support. We have a motion and we have a second to approve our agenda. Carol, I guess all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Departmental report. Mark, Fire Department.
Go over budget on that, we will use the fuel tank on our engine. That's the first over on our vehicle maintenance line item on our budget. I'm under budget on the overall budget, but just an FYI, that's going to put us over budget because we're getting close to the budget year. We're heading in for service. We found the fuel tank leaking, so that track went down. American France is officially out of business, but we found the manufacturer made it for them. And so, but that's gonna place over, we're gonna be well under on our whole budget department, so. It's, you know, it's.
We can work on that at our budget workshop.
Right. I mean,
You're gonna
next
give us
year,
a,
I mean, it's always been, as long as the whole budget is, it's always been.
Right.
That one line of it's a, you know,
Are you
a
close
little bit
to,
above. I just wanted to give you, let you know.
are you close to finishing your budget?
I'm
Or-
pretty close.
Okay. Thank you.
Second of all, the only other thing I had back was the bid opening for the generator.
We could do that bid opening right now if
We
you'd
had one
like.
person submit a bid. All we can think of is there was no way. President's Day and
Okay.
minimum bid I have is 1,500, so long as it's more than $1,500 bid.
Okay, and the bid for the generator is $1,800. And agree value consideration that was purchased, and there's no warranty of any kind. Jason
Beesman?
Bismuth?
Yep.
Bismuth? Okay.
So I don't know what happens next, will I contact them to tell them that they were, we're going to correspond with fixtures and email?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Who's the business box?
I'm just concerned, I don't have the spec in front of me, Mark. But we said it had to be, I'm just concerned that if there was something in the mail that's postmarked because of this, I don't think any of us were anticipating it wasn't a mail delivery date. I'm just wondering if there's something that's postmarked that was there. I don't have the bid spec in front of me, so I don't know if that bid
They
was
said
made.
they'd be to me by 4 o'clock today. That guy was here, looked at it last Friday. and I
But it said that it had to be received by.
Right, yeah, by today, at 4 o'clock. I came in, and that was in the drop box. I told him, if you're not gonna get the mail, so drop it in the drop box. So,
That was in the Dropbox? Here, today?
yes,
So we checked the Dropbox?
yes.
he was looking at it on Friday, and I said there was no way. Please, today.
The rest of those people postmarked.
I don't think you're gonna have one, but we'll at least, we'll compare the scenario.
Okay, if somebody want to make a motion to accept this bid with the statement that unless we have one that is postmarked contingent on that no other bids come in, you know, that are gonna have a postmark as of the weekend, you know.
Also move. In the mailbox.
In the mailbox, yeah.
Not anywhere else.
No,
Just have a US postmark Saturday or before.
Saturday or before. you know.
Don't think you're going to, but just in case.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept this bid, contingent on the fact that there's no other bid comes in the mail postmarked later than Saturday, right?
Prior to Saturday.
Prior to Saturday. Caroline, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mr. Platzman?
Yes.
Mrs. Minning?
Yes.
Mr. Browler?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes,
Mrs. Tremble, yes.
motion carries.
You all set?
Now, building department, got anything for the building department?
No, well, the planning commission hasn't met for the last couple of months because they haven't had anything, and building department's pretty quiet, but we need to talk to Mike Riley on that front deal thing.
Yeah, I'll check with him in the morning on
So I understand.
that. Okay, water department. Luckily, with the temperatures, we have had no water line breaks or anything, everything is.
You just jinxed it.
No, I hope not, don't tell me that. Jane from the library, Jane, are you there?
Jane's not here.
Okay.
She was concerned about the weather. I talked to her on Friday or Saturday. The door is wonderful. It's fixed and wonderful, and there's no other problems. Everything's going along fine.
Okay. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
Unfinished business. Township trash removal recycling resolution, 2014-02-17. Okay, here's the thing. The board has a few options here to take under consideration. The thing we can do is do nothing. That's one of our options. The next option is a do-over, which would be to send out the cards again and go through with the procedure again, or proceed with the resolution. So we're open for discussion, whatever somebody wants to. Oh, you're out of order there, thanks.
That's fine, that's fine.
No, I think we first looked at this, we looked at the economics of it and the environmental impact on it. We heard from people who wanted it, so I know myself and the board, I can't speak for the rest of the board, thought it would be a good idea to pursue. But the way it's progressed, or hasn't progressed, I guess I would be in favor of a do-over just because of how things went down, with the bids and everything else involved, the timing of how it went out. I think if we're going to proceed, we need to do it again. That's my opinion.
Okay. Anybody else?
I don't think we should proceed with it either, at first. You don't know where I'm stood anyhow, so. But I think that what we should do, instead of spending any more money and sending out all the mailers and everything, is that those people that really want it, they can petition to get it. There's a certain percentage. I'm sorry I don't have the papers with me. Mike and I both went to a class in Traverse City at our conference about special assessments. The lawyer that was there, he said this, for the board to do, this is the thing, the way they were doing it, you know, we can do it, but it's like political suicide, so. But I think that, you know, if there's that many people that want trash, they can get a petition, and then we can look at it. That's what we do with the water system, petition, and you get it.
Okay. Well, I myself, I'm certainly in favor of the project. I really believe that environmentally, you know, the people that come in wanted it, they recycled faithfully, you know. And the fact that it's $50, $60, $70 cheaper a year than what most people are paying right now through their contractors. You know, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Yeah, I'm in favor of it. But I guess the thing that bothers me is you know, and I understand you people come out, you know, but we did send out 1,500 cards, you know, and we got 127 people that protested that they weren't in favor of this project. You know, and I understand the numbers, you know, but for me to sit here and believe that 127 people, you know, should make the decision for the rest of the township, I don't think is really fair either. I mean, I'm willing to go along with the board, whatever the board decides to do, but you know, I just think it's you know. Would I be willing to do it over? I don't know that I'd be willing to do it over. I might think that maybe we'd wanna, you know, if the board, you know, and the board voted to do this 4-1, it was, you know, it wasn't me personally that voted to do this, the whole board voted 4-1 to do it. So, and that's why we proceeded, you know, with the assessment, and then that, you know, so, I guess that's the way I feel about it, so, Caroline, you have?
Well, I like the idea of recycling. I think it certainly would help clean up the township, although we had a mess here when we had it. I really am not in favor of having it back here because we had trash coming from all over. Worth Township, you name it. We had vans of, had to be coming from restaurants that were just chucked with milk jugs or water jugs. So we had a lot of mess to clean up. I'm not sure that it's something that's needs to happen at this time. Apparently, although I have to say there have been a lot of untruths spoken tonight, we're not going to get into an arguing situation on what was and what wasn't, but there were a lot of things stated tonight in the audience that simply were not true of how things were handled and what it was done and the intent. But I'm not sure I feel that it's the time.
And I think that this board's intent, when this whole thing started, was that, you know, it was going to be a cost savings to all the residents of the township. You know, to find out that now with what's been going on, and I still think that if I can get $60 off of my garbage for the next 5 years, you know, that's $300. You know, that's the way I look at it.
I think we need to talk to some of these people that are getting the great rates, because I haven't been offered those rates. I want to know where you're getting them.
Talk to Jeff Sarubis.
Pardon?
Talk to Jeff Sarubis.
Well, I already have them, and I don't have that rate.
But,
Because it's through the bid away.
well, I'm all for entertaining a motion. Oh, Cindy, I'm sorry. You just screamed at me, wait a minute. Sorry.
Well, I'm certainly in favor of recycling. And I also am in favor of having the rates reduced for people. But obviously you people don't want it, and that's your choice. And you do whatever. Somebody makes a motion, we'll vote on it. And I'm not really in favor of starting over on it either.
Well, I'll make a motion to just drop it.
Yeah.
I think we did that, Elton. Speaking of making a motion for it, I think we left it on the record, didn't we? Pardon?
Did Jody make?
Why not do it?
By not making a motion for it, I think we dropped it, is what I said.
I don't know. It's on the agenda, there's a resolution. Let's vote no.
No one's made a motion to adopt it, is what I'm saying, so I think that meant we dropped it.
That's not, just assume. Probably. Supporting a motion.
That's true, there's a motion on the floor, so we should have a
Okay,
discussion.
right.
Answer to support.
No support, I don't like it, so.
I'm sorry, what was the motion you made?
Just to drop.
Okay. Anybody second it? I didn't hear it.
No.
Okay.
Don't look like it.
The motion died for lack of support.
Oh my gosh, so where are we?
Is there any other one?
It's dead? Doug, is that correct, then if we don't make the motion to pass, it just drops?
You don't need a resolution to not proceed. You need a resolution to proceed. If there's
Right,
nothing,
so if nothing's done,
then it doesn't go forward based on these. Because there were bids out there, and because, you know, we're here with this process, if you it's not necessary, but if you wanted to make a motion to abandon the special assessment process, you could do that. It is not legally required, but it would bring finality to the issue.
And make the citizens feel better too.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Oh, do we need a roll call vote?
Yeah.
Because, yes, because it's a resolution. Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Briley?
Yes.
I'm sorry, did I have something to say?
Well, it's not really a resolution.
Okay. I lost my place. Mr. Platzer?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremble, yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's send the public. Night.
We'd like to see more of you at all of our meetings. We never have it.
Okay, moving on, we have order, please. Our lawn maintenance contract for next year. With Kevin's Lawn Service, he gave us the same price as last year. I think everybody is satisfied with them, or at least I was very happy with them. I think everybody else.
That was my only question, was it the same price, and I didn't get out my own.
It was the same contract as last year, he hasn't raised it.
Okay.
There's no fuel charges or anything on it, so we don't have to. Can we just vote through this whole package? Yeah, we don't have to vote on everyone. No, that's the whole package, you know. But that's the way I broke it down to him.
Then I'll make a motion to accept the lawn maintenance contract. Kevin's done a great job, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll second it. We have a motion and a second to accept Kevin's contract, the same as last year. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, Caroline, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. Briley?
Yes.
Mr. Platzer?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremble, yes.
Okay, pest management agreement. This is the same price too, isn't it?
It's exactly the same price now, and
I moved to renew the ABC contract.
This is for outside, correct?
inside.
Oh, inside.
This is
This is the inside one, not the outside one.
Right.
Okay.
The outside one, they want to watch. I don't know why they do the inside.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support to accept the pest agreement contract, or pest management contract. Caroline, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Briley?
Yes.
Mr. Platzer?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremble, yes.
Okay, moving on to new business. We don't have any new business. Supervisor's report. See, I did have something I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it is now.
You did
I
right
should-
there.
You got a big audience.
Huh? Yeah, I got a chance to speak with everybody here, to listen and nothing to say. Caroline, clerk?
Just that we do have an election coming up, February 25th. It's, RISA is asking for a $0.25 increase. RISA being our tech center, Woodland, you know, I think you all know what RISA is, so that's February 25th.
In all three precincts.
And all three precincts will be open.
Okay, thank you. Jody, treasury report?
No, tomorrow's the last day to pay your taxes. We'll be here till 5 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the last minute.
Drop them in a box. Cindy?
I don't have anything tonight.
The library?
Just the library.
I mean, how about the, you know, if we could just for a minute, I want my supervisor's report back, but I want to report on how we're doing on the chapel, Jim. Could you do that for us?
Yeah.
Give us a little update on the
I'm
chapel?
sorry, Mike. I said if Jim wasn't here.
We removed all the interior sheeting on the inside of the chapel, got it down to the studs and to the siding on the outside. We had it spray foam, there's 4 inches of, or 3 inches of foam in there now. We reinstalled some of the sheeting boards, sheeting 2x6 and 1x6s back on the inside so the drywaller could start. It's been all rewired, new boxes have been put in. It's up to code now. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We ordered we went and picked up all the lumber for the wainscoting. That's over in the DPW yard over there waiting to be put on.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Well, now I've got an audience here. Now, if you want to really support something in the township, you should jump on this chapel deal, restoration, and make a little donation. And these guys do a wonderful job, and it's all volunteer help. I'll tell you, they do a great job. I think they deserve a great hand.
A couple things. This lady asking about us doing something for gas service. I don't think
We
that.
can't do that.
I don't think we can. Mike Wilton here, he's retired from the gas company just recently, but I thought maybe he could help us here with that while he's right here. Could you, Mike, how that works?
Yeah, it's not the process. I mean, Semco, I mean, your service, they have a franchise area, okay? And within this franchise area is Semco Gas. And the way it works, they're regulated to the state, not to the county, not to the township. The only way they're regulated to the township or the county is by permitting, you know, once they actually start a process. But what you can do is petition them that you would like natural gas service. Because you can get wherever, I don't know where you live, but you can get it right now.
Well, that's the whole thing,
You can get it.
right, I have petitioned, not petitioned, but Semco did send an information packet to all the residents. And I lived in other townships where they were the front people for a special assessment, just like they do with the trash, where it costs a lot less and helped the residents because it would be less of an interest rate that Semco was gonna charge 11%. And that's like an infrastructure problem, which in the master plan it addresses infrastructure and special assessment. So I have lived in townships where they have utilized a special assessment districts, not only for, you know, gas or like cleaning up water or the seaweed and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I'm not aware of one that Semco has ever done.
well, that's, Semco did respond to that, but they said go ahead and try, and they acknowledge it could be cheaper too, and I did forward that email on to the supervisor.
Yeah, I don't know how it would be cheaper, though, but.
Well, because they would be the front money, just like with the trash, and the administrative costs, the interest would be a lot cheaper.
Where are we gonna get the money?
Yeah, where's our money coming from?
From us.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but to pay it first,
Well, your budget, like, you know.
would you like to see the budget? Right, Joe?
You know, you can get it right now.
Well, yeah,
One person can get it, I don't care if you live 10 miles off from me.
Right, but they said we had to have a certain amount of people in order to get it.
No, you can get it.
Well, I know we can get it, but you have to have a certain
No,
amount.
you have to pay for it.
Right, but you have to have a certain amount of people to get the pipe to come down.
And they will, they do. They're setting it's 11%.
Yeah.
So that we'll finance.
And like in the past, like I said, I lived in other townships where anything dealing with the infrastructure of the community, they would front the money, and I don't know how the financial status is with this community is.
We did that with the water system.
Okay, well, that's the
But
infrastructure.
the water system's ours. Semco Energy owns their system.
But don't you pay Detroit water and
We
sewer?
pay Detroit Water for water. We buy water from them.
But
And we pay the storage.
they're never the provider on gas.
Yeah.
The township is never the
Okay.
provider on gas. They're simply a franchisor that allows a public utility to use the right-of-way. They're not the seller in the special assessment process that we've been using and talking about here is for when the township is the provider.
Well, the township wouldn't be the provider for the trash either, would they?
They would have, they would have contracted it.
Right, so that's my point, we would contract.
But we
So you wanna
can't
bring it
contract
back?
with the gas.
But just
Through the track, through the, not collect for the usage, but just for the installation.
And all I'm trying to do is save you time, so, I mean, I
makes a
Yeah, I don't think
difference.
there's anything we can do,
Okay,
honestly.
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Apple.
Thank you.
Concerned about the gas, is that?
Yes, it is about the gas. I had the, before I had the pleasure of moving here, I lived in Lapeer. The gas contractor was coming down Kings Mill. I live over a mile down the road. I talked to him, there was a Boy Scout club off of Five Lakes Road. They were willing to come to the Boy Scouts club, come down almost a half mile, quarter mile more to my house and go past me to the end of my property. So if you can find enough people in your area, and that's what I would encourage you, because like the gentleman who just left, they're in it to make money. And if you can convince 3/4 of the people on your street or in your area, because I agree, propane is out of this world. I feel very sorry for you.
The problem is, where she wants it, it's about $10,000 a parcel.
No, it's
$5,000.
5,000, somebody read my
It's
email.
come down, because I checked on it, it was 10,000.
Yeah, I got,
It was like
I actually,
$120,000.
I actually have the paperwork from Semco in case we would entertain this thought. And it's just like, you know, I don't know what the finances of the township is, but I'm not asking them to pay the gas bill, I'm asking them to, you know, when we would be the special assessment district, just for the people that are benefiting. And I understand there are already people that already have this improvement in this township. Now, how did they get the improvement?
They paid for it.
They paid for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a subdivision right down the road, it costs them, what is it, cost cupping?
John was here, did he leave?
They probably did.
Well, and see,
John
I
paid
think
for half
everybody's
miles up.
misunderstanding what I'm saying. They paid for it. I'm not saying anybody else paying. The people that benefit would be, I would be paying for it.
That's
The
right.
other, my
Yeah.
neighbor would be
That's
benefiting.
right.
But they paid the gas
You're
company
asking
the
public
interest.
money
So they didn't get
to support you.
the township involved.
They went down the road the same time the water line did, so it came in at the same time, I think. But it was two separate transactions, two separate.
If we were to take care of that project for you, we'd probably charge you more than 11%, because we'd have to borrow the money to pay Semco to do it, and then wait to spread it over 10 years or whatever, and it'd probably be more than 11%.
Okay, well, I just thought, because
Yeah.
it
No,
has
and I'm
happened.
just trying to save
Yeah.
you.
Well, I appreciate that,
Yeah.
and it's just like, if
I'd
I,
like to have it too.
It's horrible.
but it's terrifying, this propane. It's so unstable.
I could have gone out with Mark, but it come down far enough.
She's going to, like, all right, you can take it back across, you got to pay frontage.
I filled out the card online, and they, which was really nice about the marketing department of Semco. They ended up sending one to me and to every neighbor on that drive, Hillock Drive, which I thought was really, really good. And then in the past, where I lived in townships that did do special assessments for different projects in the community, they did do, you know, each person paid for their own. It's just like, I thought, well, I'd rather have natural gas than have somebody in my trash, because that's an infrastructure problem, and infrastructure is really important to me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Extended public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Extended public comment. Okay, thank you. Somebody entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn, and support. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Nay. Ayes,